Welcome to the Histo-PathGuy. I'm Iso and today we're looking at the duodenum. You can see here a slide of duodenal tissue. So this is just a low power image here showing just the architecture where we can see the surface epithelium or the mucosa, and deep to the mucosa we can see glandular structures here, which are the Brunner's glands, and I'll walk you through step by step from the mucosa all the way to the to the lower surface here. So here the mucosa of the duodenum is highly folded. You can say it has broad leaf-like projections which are villi. So you can see here these are villi here, and then on the surface of the villi it's lined by simple columnar epithelium, and with your occasional goblet cells here, which I'm trying to highlight here. You can see this is a goblet cell, and then this is your interocyte, which is your simple columnar epithelium, and on it has microvilli, which you can see here. Just look at the box on the lower right. If you can look closer, you can see microvilli there. Just have a look there, you can see. So these interocytes on the luminous surface have microvilli, and this is your goblet cell, and this is your simple columnar epithelium, and the nuclei is basally located. Okay, now in deep to this epithelial surface we have the basement membrane, and deep to that we have now the lamina propria, which consists of inflammatory cells, which is normal because you do get an immune protection in the gastrointestinal tract. And then as you can see here we have submucosal glands. Okay, but before we get to the submucosal glands, remember that between the submucosa and the lamina propria we should get something called a muscularis propria. I think it's not clear. Let me look for a nice section to show you, which as I always mention is lined by some smooth muscle fibers. Yeah, this is the muscularis mucosa, and deep to that we have the Brunner's glands. So these are just mucinous glands that secrete mucin that protect the duodenum from the acidic content that comes from the stomach. So you can see here these are mucinous glands. Okay, and the architecture and histology or histology of the duodenum isn't so difficult. So there's what we also quite forgot to highlight: crypt of Lieberkühn. Like I said, the villus projection and the, how can I describe it? Like they extend downwards. Yeah. So you've got your villus projection, which projects upwards, and then your crypt of Lieberkühn, which projects downwards. Okay. So now let me just go through the functions of each cell type for you. So as I mentioned, the interocyte helps with absorption of nutrients, glucose, your amino acids, lipids, and they contain enzymes for final digestion at the surface, right? And then your goblet cells secrete mucus to lubricate your food material that comes through your stomach. And then there's what we also call Paneth cells. Let me just try and highlight one Paneth cell. They have eosinophilic granules. I think here's a Paneth cell. Just look at the small box again on the right. Not so clear. And then you also have your enteroendocrine cells. Your enteroendocrine cells, they stimulate bicarbonate secretion that neutralizes the acid content that comes from the stomach, and they also secrete cholecystokinin, that's CCK, that stimulates pancreatic enzymes and bowel release. So your enteroendocrine cells, how you identify them, they have a kind of like a pale cytoplasm here. So this is your enteroendocrine cell. I can highlight quite a number of them for you. Here's one, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. There are quite a number. Here's another enteroendocrine cell. Okay, so now when you go deep to the Brunner's glands, you've got your, does this section have, yes, your muscularis externa. Remember, it's got two muscle types, which are the transverse and longitudinal muscle fibers, and they are of smooth muscle. Okay, so here's your longitudinal sections, and you can see the nuclei are cigar shaped, almost cigar shaped. And then your transverse section, because they are cut in a transverse manner, you can see that the nuclei are almost rounded here. So this is your muscularis externa. Okay, so I think this is about it about the duodenum. It's not a difficult structure to identify. Just remember, it's got folded villi. I think also, let me show you something here. If you notice here, the way the villi look, they look more rounded. It's the way the section has been cut. So how can I show you? Let me just try and annotate it for you if I can. Let's see. So you get something like this.
Power off.
Okay, that's your villi, and then when sectioning, it's cut like this. So what you get is a round structure, almost like a round structure. Okay, so like here, you can see there. Okay, so you can see these rounded structures here. So this shouldn't throw you off, but when you go to higher power, you see that they're lined by the same simple columnar epithelium with microvilli. So that shouldn't throw you off and say, no, where am I? So this is just duodenum. So that's about it about the duodenum. Thank you very much, and please like and subscribe to more of these videos, which will keep on being uploaded. Thank you very much.